Greetings Internet, and welcome back for another early morning's presentation. Now, for today's video, I figured I would let y'all know that this past weekend I went to see the new horror movie, Ma, that came out this past week. And I figured I'd give y'all a little review of that movie. Now, one thing I want to start off with right off the bat is this is one of those old school psychological thriller style horror movies. It's got a couple of really cheap jump scares, but beyond that it's a pretty good flick. The story is centered around this group of kids, this new girl who just came into town, Maggie is what the group calls her, is trying to fit in, and she decides that, you know, she's going to hang out with this one particular group, and they turn out to be the cool kids, big air quotes on that, but they also turn out to be basically the wrong crowd, as it were. So they decide that they're going to go hang out at this place in their local town. Yeah, their local town. This local place in their town that they call the Rock Pile, which is essentially kind of like an abandoned construction site where there's like a bunch of, what do you call them? You know those big bricks with the holes in the middle of them? With a bunch of those and other construction stuff and things laying around, because apparently there is very little to do in their town besides going there and getting wasted and getting high. So they decide to go there and have some fun, but before they go there, they need to try and get themselves, or they think they need to get themselves some booze and whatever to get wasted. So this is the point in the movie where they initially meet the titular Ma character. Because they're trying to get the booze by having like an older person, an adult, go into this alcohol shop and get it for them. So they're standing there at the corner, you know, someone walks by and going into the shop and they're like, excuse me, and you know, they've got like enough money to get the booze they want, but they're under 21, so no one inside the shop is going to sell them that stuff. So like, excuse me, and the people are just like blowing off, like, get lost, get out of here. And then the Ma character, you know, the lady from the trailers, is walking by with her three-legged dog, and they ask her, and initially she's like, nah, but then she, you know, has a change of heart because she knows there's not much to do in that town anyway, and she figures, you know, why not? She'll be the cool one, the cool adult for the moment. She goes in, she gets them the booze, they go out to the rock pile, they have their fun. And initially they go to the rock pile, but as they're leaving with the booze, Ma gets on the horn, or gets on her phone, and she's going through Facebook and doing like Google searches and such to figure out who these kids are, actually. And she figures out who one of them is, and she tracks down his father and manages to get a hold of the guy to tell him that, you know, his son is driving around in one of their company vans, you know, getting ready to go get crunk. I think that's the right word. I feel really, really old saying that. They're gonna go get crunk. That made me feel dirty, doing the weird sideways peace signs thing. I'm not gonna do that again, that was stupid. But anyway, she gets a hold of the guy, and he calls the cops on the kids. But I'm getting way into spoiler territory with this. So, for once, I'm actually going to stop there with actually, you know, telling the story in the movie. But I will say that if you're going into this movie looking for like a hardcore, you know, what's a nice way to put it? Yeah, just a hardcore kind of horror movie that's just going to be like non-stop thrills, bop, bop, bop. That is not this kind of movie. This has a nice slow pace to it, which I like with horror movies. I don't like the torturous, Hostel, the Saw 4, 5, 6, etc. kind of movies. I like it when they take a nice slow pace and they like gradually build up to the actual horror. And this one does an excellent job of bringing forth the psychological thrills and the horror. So I would say, if you're thinking about going to watch this film, don't go in there with the mindset that Ma is going to be like the next Jigsaw, because that's not what's going to happen. This is more of a kind of a revenge plot along the similar vein to A Nightmare on Elm Street, only Ma is not a supernatural entity. She is just someone who was pushed way beyond her means back in the day when she was the same age as these kids. And she's, she snaps because, she keeps having flashbacks to that BS back then. And she finds out that the kids who are hanging out at her place, the initial group that she helps get the alcohol for, are actually all the kids of the exact group of people who wronged her back in high school. And I think that is excellent and scary. Part of the reason I find that scary is I myself was not the most popular person back in high school, and I have had the kind of thoughts Ma has had that she tries to pull off in this film. Not to the extent that she goes to, but I have thoughts of, or had thoughts of, just the usual, I remember you so-and-so, you did this thing that one time and I would really like to just pop you right in the mouth for that. But we're adults now, so I can't do that without serious repercussions. And I've had thoughts like that. So, seeing this woman actually go the distance and actually go and follow through with those thoughts, it's chilling, to say the least, as someone who was bullied in school. So on the one hand, initially I was like, yeah, you go, Ma, but on the other hand, as I saw what she was doing and how she was achieving these messed up goals for how to get back at these people, I'm like, oh God, Ma, no. You're going too far. Just calm down, take a chill pill. But then we find out exactly what happened to her, and it starts to make a lot of sense why she is so mad and why she is so hell-bent on getting back at these people. So yes, if you're interested in seeing this movie, don't go into it with the mindset that this is going to be the next Jigsaw. Just kind of turn off your brain and go into this movie and just have fun with it. And with that being said, I didn't really do much else this weekend. It was kind of a lazy weekend. Went over to my sister's place and helped her tidy up her apartment a little bit. And then she and I popped in over at Goodwill for a bit. And I picked up a couple of what I think are interesting items, somewhat. Now if you'll hold me, if you'll hold on for just 1 second, if you'll give me a minute, I'll get one of the things. The other item is right here on the table. Okay. I have returned. So, as I was just starting to say, it was a slow weekend. I didn't really do much. I only went over to the Goodwill once, and I only found a couple of items that to myself were interesting. The first one, because obviously if it's Ninja Turtle related, and it's something I haven't seen or don't currently own, I've got to at least look into it. So from the 2012 Ninja Turtles series, I picked up TMNT Enter the Shredder on DVD. Get lean, mean, and green with the Turtles team. Join Leo, Donnie, Raph, and Mikey as they take on the streets of New York City, where every turn yields a new enemy. Get ready for non-stop battles against Krang droids, mechanical Mousers, a mutant alligator, and even the evil Shredder himself. Includes Monkey Brains, Never Say Xavier, The Gauntlet, Panic in the Sewers, Mauser's Attack, It Came from the Depths, and The New Girl in Town. So I thought that was kind of neat. The disc is actually in pretty good shape. It's got a couple scratches on it, it's got a couple little smudges where some little kid owned this before me. But for only a couple bucks, technically I could pass it up, but I'm always looking to expand my collection. And then the second piece I found, this one is quite amusing to me. For some of you who may be aware, back in the 90s, there was a different approach to the whole traditional Peter Pan story. It starred Robin Williams, that's your first big clue, and Andy Kaufman. Robin Williams played the character Peter Panning, who turned out to actually be an adult version of Peter Pan, and Andy Kaufman played Hook, Captain Hook. And the film was called Hook. So while my sister and I were at the Goodwill, I was just piddling around, looking around, doing my usual trying to find Ninja Turtle stuff. And over on the children's book rack, they happened to have this 1991 Hook dot-to-dot coloring book. And apparently this is supposed to be like the entirety of the story, but in like a dot-to-dot activity book format. So I just thought it was kind of neat. At my local Goodwill, this stuff is, well, I believe this was literally $1. There were only a couple problems with it, that it actually got used by a kid at some point. Like, see, I colored some of the pages in with markers and crayons and such, but thankfully it's only like 1 or 2 pictures. The rest of this is like perfect. Yeah, it's probably going to be hard to pick up on camera, but this one got colored in with yellow crayon. But as I was saying, aside from just those couple of things, this thing apparently hasn't been touched. And it's in almost perfect condition. It's got a little bit of wear on the corners here. It still has the KB Toys 99-cent price sticker on it, which I think is kind of neat. So yeah, these were my Goodwill finds for the week. That is a lot of glare. There we go. Now you can see what's on the covers. And there was another thing. This weekend was what is referred to. Oh, just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. My breakfast is ready. Alright, ladies and gents, I have returned with my breakfast. So as I was starting to say, this weekend was also this thing called Free RPG Day. I think it was Friday or Saturday, I forget which day exactly. But essentially, you can go to participating game stores who sell like Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder stuff, and you can get select items for free that are specifically made for Free RPG Day, in the same vein as like Free Comic Book Day. And I happened to pick up one little thing for myself. Is this the one? Yes it is. For the game Starfinder, I picked up this little supplementary module thing called Skitter Crash. This thing, from what it seems, is a sequel to the book that I picked up last year called Skitter Shot. And Skittermanders are these weird fuzzy creatures on the front. There we go. See this little green guy down here? You see this blue guy on the back over here? Essentially, imagine if Stitch and a Dungeons & Dragons goblin got combined. That's a Skittermander. And I think they are just, in the words of Stitch himself, I just think they are "oh, so cute and fluffy." Oh my god, that was like Stitch choking on something. My voice is not where it needs to be for a voice like that right now. But anyway, I saw that and I was like, ooh, that could be interesting. So I picked that up, and then because the cover of this looked cool, I also picked up this Mythic 2d6 quick start thing, which looks to be heavily Five Nights at Freddy's inspired. Got like some kind of weird hippo robot in the main part there wearing an apron that says, "Yum yum, time to eat." And then there's like some weird hawk character up here, I believe, and another character over here. Looked kind of neat. So yeah, those were my pickups for the weekend. And next I'm going to do something I haven't done in quite some time. An obligatory, what am I having for breakfast? This morning I'm having a pair of chicken patty sandwiches with a nice slice of American cheese split between the two, and some good old Italian dressing, just for a little bit of a nice kick to help wake me up this morning. And to drink with that, not this bottle of water I have right here, but a nice tall glass of milk. So I think this is a pretty good time to wrap this episode up, because I just kind of took all my ideas for the week and jammed them into this one video. So with this being said, ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen, thank you all so much for coming. Oh, excuse me. Thank you all so much for coming and watching another one of my videos. I do truly and greatly appreciate it. If you like what you've seen here today, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that little bell icon to be notified of future uploads once you are subscribed. And with all of that happy horse hockey out of the way, oh, and also be sure to share my videos with your friends if you think they'll enjoy them. Anyway, with that all out of the way, this is Oxleymations saying, Cowabunga, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.